The meeting is called to order and we'll start now. Sorry for the short delay. We are still waiting for our regional commanders who had just left the JCC meeting and we are on their way to this place. I had to maneuver pass through ONS in Makeni at the time. So please, the meeting is going to be short for today and we are taking a different tone. We want to start probably with the prevention people, but before we do so many incidences have taken place during this week. This week was very eventful. All of you know most of the issues that transpired that went on within Freetown and outside Freetown. I was out of town. We went to Makeni. For those of you that know, I think that is now in Karina district. It used to be Bombali. The only national park we have in this country is devastated. Lots of logging, lots and lots of logging is going on within that place, and mining activities are also going on in that national park. So if you go there, there is nothing to talk about. But the good thing is that the government has taken a very strong decision on the restoration of Makeni, and that is what makes the thing very, very good. So we had to hold a meeting with the citizens of that town. We went to Vitunia, the Tambaka Chiefdom, and held a meeting with the chiefs and the youths, the locals, and we took very strong decisions. The decisions we took were in line with government, what government proposed, that logging should be stopped completely, and no mining should be allowed to go on within the Makeni National Park, and that we should be able to restore the park as it was at the beginning. And what makes the thing most interesting was that a total of 9 rifles were arrested, or have been arrested, from poachers within that park. And then we took possession of that gun. It was handed over to the police, and I received it on behalf of the police, and we brought it to Freetown. Well, not for prosecution purposes, because the people were not arrested, and there is nothing we can prosecute in this case, but to hand it over to the small arms department for destruction. And what we have agreed again upon on the government, in line with government instruction, is to have a joint deployment of the police and the military to assist the NPAA to protect that place. And this should go on for quite some time until sanity is restored. I'm just coming from that meeting again, a follow-up meeting. And the second one is EDSA. EDSA have been very, very successful. We knew there was rampant stealing of electrical cables from the, how do I call them, from the transformers across the country, because it was not limited to Freetown alone. It was across the entire country. And over the year, and over the period between October and now, several prosecutions have been made, recoveries have been made as well, and we also intend continuing the operation, especially on the part of the police, to ensure that electricity, EDSA properties are maintained. We have had a few thefts, isolated ones, not as rampant as it used to be. The last one in Wellington, and unfortunately, some people were arrested, and the DPP's office have been able to give us advice that all those that were arrested should be charged to court and those on the run, we should put in a warrant for them. And that makes a success. Number 3 is the mining, the rampant mining going on across this country. There is rampant mining everywhere in this country, uncoordinated, especially those along our river bodies. I think we've been telling you a lot about them. It is still going on, and new avenues have been created. So, we want to thank our regional commanders. Most of them have done very, very well in ensuring that it stops within their regions. But as I speak, if you go to Tayama, if you go to Naburuka, the Pampana River, the Taya rivers are all very, very brown with a lot of silt in them. We need the dirty water, the dirty. You know, the erosion is now assisting a lot, especially with the rains coming in. Several other issues, some of them will be highlighted by our regional commanders, the Department of Peacekeeping, and the OSDs, and then some of them by the yes, and the media department. One thing that makes me very happy is the recent innovation that was made by the media one, by training all of our media officers and then posting media people to key departments within this country, the traffic, the CID, and several others. It was reported at the KCC today, and I want to give a thumbs up, my brother. That was very good innovation. So when you want information at any quarter, you don't need to go to the LUCs any longer, who might find it difficult. Go to the media person, who you should be able to talk to. On this note, I want to thank you again for coming last week. I don't think I saw you people last week. I had to inquire, and the media one told me that it was on their part. They failed to put things together. But again, I think we have overcome that, and you are all here. I would want us to start with Makeni, and today there was an event there. I don't want to preempt anything. The regional commander from Makeni or his representative should be able to give us updates from Makeni. I thank you very much. Can you go ahead?
Makeni, on mute.
We are not getting you, but we are getting you now. Go ahead.
Thank you. I am Chief Inspector Abdulrahman Sanko, Head of Media for the Northeast Region. The general security situation in the Northeast Region is relatively calm and quiet. Joint patrols at the borders and Makeni City are ongoing, including monitoring of third wave COVID-19 precautionary measures. On the 24th May 2022, a team of police personnel at the Northeast Region, headed by ASP Augustine Cargo, under the leadership of AIG GMT Tommy, successfully policed the visit of His Excellency Dr. Julius Manabdo at Frenberg to meet with the management of King Hall Mining Company, the community people, and other stakeholders. The president and entourage later proceeded to Bendugu town and addressed a gathering of a very large constituents of constituency 056. The regional operations officer ASP Augustine Cargo and team left the regional headquarters on the 25th for paramount chieftaincy election at Yoni Mamela in the Tokolili districts. As we have had the AIG operations on the Makeni issue, today there was riots between the bike riders, which started amongst themselves when the police were called in to salvage the situation. We have the bike monitor officers that are working under the command of the Bike Riders Union Executive. One of the bike riders monitor, known as SLA, was in conflict with one of the commercial motorbike riders. So the police were called in to help in the situation. The operations officer of Makeni Division, Inspector Kaba Conte, and team went to the scene to ensure that peace is restored. And unfortunately, the bike riders that were within the vicinity where the incident occurred turned against the police and collared the operations officer and assaulted him as well. And within the process, we were able to arrest 8 of the motorbikes as the bike riders went haywire within the township of Makeni, making roadblocks and causing problems. This led to the temporary closure of the shops along Obane Road, of which the police have now restored peace and a full-scale investigation mounted. I just want to dispel the news going on social media that the police allegedly shot and killed one of the bike riders. Is very baseless, unfounded, and not true at all. Completely false. One of the bike riders who assaulted the ops officer went to the regional government hospital and got himself admitted with the allegation that he was equally beaten by the police. Well, to dispense justice, a medical paper has been issued to him so that he can make his own case. Already the operations officer had made statements, and we are also in contact with one of the bike monitors who the police went to rescue to equally make his own statements. So far, the police has restored calm, shops have reopened, and each and everybody is going on his own normal business, as there is nothing to worry. So the issue on social media is nothing to go by. Presently, the media department in the Northeast region and the community relations department Northeast are on outreach activities with community members in the sensitization drive in the fight against crime. We all know during the rainy season, hardcore criminals or armed robbers becomes very active, and in a way to proactively police the various communities and to stop them from their deeds, we are getting a consultative engagement to the community people and also trying to screen community safety volunteers that are going to help the police alongside the police monitoring mechanism to protect their various communities. The illegal mining activities along the rivers as far as the Northeast region is an ongoing process, and it is a sustained raid to ensure the rivers are cleaned up and the illegal mining activities are stopped. So far, so many charges and indictments have been proffered on those illegal miners that have been so far arrested and their mining activities. We are also embarking on raids in gray areas where we suspect possible hardcore criminals can gang up to unleash a mayhem on innocent civilians. So many arrests have been made and charges have been proffered to courts. We are yielding a dividend of security, alertness, and less armed robbery reports or any major incidents that might damage the image of the Salon police. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, General. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I am Assistant Superintendent of Police, Mohammed Bobsesenu. By my side, I have the crime officer. He is also investigating strategic cases in case of any questions from members of the First Estate. The region relatively calm and quiet, but there are key strategic issues that we want to report on. One has to do with the alleged murder matter, follow up on that case, which happens the 13th of May, involving Mohammed Kamara. Of course, we now currently have 5 suspects in custody in relation to the investigation. We have done the post-mortem examination for which the corpse was handed over to family members, and they have laid the remains to rest at the CKC cemetery. We also have one that has to do with alleged murder again, involving one year 6-month-old baby by her mother, Kadiatu Conte. The suspect is currently in police custody. Based on intelligent drive on the 24th of this month, police officers stormed 111 Maingwema Road, a popular place called Kola Store, for which 2 suspects were arrested. One Patrick Muse and Mohammed Janeh, the storekeeper, they were arrested with 96 shotgun charges. They are currently now in police custody while the investigation is ongoing, sir. We also have a case of alleged assault on a police officer, which happens at Moyamba Junction by one honorable member of parliament, constituency 096, Simeon Pefegula. That matter has been transferred from the divisional headquarters to the regional headquarters here. And we are doing the forwarding to the Director of Crime Services at CID headquarters for further investigation. Relatively, we are doing our normal patrols within the city of Bo and also across the other region, other divisions. The Palmer chieftaincy that supposed to commence yesterday was cancelled due to petition at Palmer by Crane, and we are also monitoring the security situation in that direction. So far, the region is relatively calm and quiet, with no potential threat from no angles. Sir.
Thank you, Bob Sen.
I am Chief Inspector called Hassan Toure, Northwest. The general security situation within the Northwest region is relatively quiet and normal. The Northwest region continues to operate on the matrix of joint security border patrols within our Guinean county. Expecting tomorrow a CID retreat, which is slated for Friday and Saturday, the 27th and 28th May respectively, as we have started receiving. For now, the entire region is relatively quiet and peaceful, as we have counted it to be one of the most peaceful regions within the country. Thank you.
As it is under low security threats. There are security patrols at the border crossing points leading to Liberia and Guinea respectively. The security sector and other agents are still monitoring the Yenga and other cross points within the region. Let's now look at the Independent Media Commission visits to Kenema, at his Masekobi Streets in Kenema. According to Dr. Masakoi, the meeting was bothering. It will not meet up problems as the 2023 elections is just around the corner. In his address, Dr. Masakoi stated that the IMC does not have a regional office in Kenema, but however expressed that Mr.
Permit me to stand on existing protocols. Freetown West is relatively calm and quiet. We have about 3 issues I just want to say something on. The issue of the incident that is on social media. That involves Bokari Mansari and Usman Busisi. We received the report and quickly executed search at the premises because it was mentioned somebody was having a weapon. We get statement from the complainant, get the weapon, get everybody, and issue medical report to the complainant. He alleged he was assaulted. And the following day, we transferred the matter to CID headquarters because it involves lots of forensic material that has to do with cyber investigations. And we also received another report of one Alpha who was arrested, who was arrested by a Anslav W2 personnel. He was taken to the Leone police station because on the 19th he had a fight with a military personnel who ended up dead. So he was brought in, suspected to have murdered him. The bodies that gone out from autopsy. That's in the police. And we also have another issue of robbery with fire aggravation at a mountainside. 2 suspects were arrested on the night with the help of military officers. Makeni and Abdul Kabo are the 2 suspects arrested on the night. They break into the house of Mariama and Binti Toure and carted away with properties worth millions of euros. During the investigation, Chenyo Jalo, aka Fulaboy, was also arrested at Approved School. Interestingly, all these suspects are coming from the other side of the hills. That is Wellington, Mountain Court, and Approved School. They are at the lovely regional Freetown West headquarters under investigation. I also want to bring to this body about work going on for the Green Belt location. Now the workers are using drones to monitor and locate the Green Belt division. At one time they were going physically on the ground to measure. Now they are using drones. And our personnel are there together with the military to police the situation. They've already deployed onto Toke. As I'm speaking, the Chief Minister has just gone to inspect and monitor work on the ground. We have addressed the personnel and appreciate them for the national service they are doing. I think so far for Freetown West, that's all I can give you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Somebody was invited to a meeting and he was given the mic to talk. The man held on to the mic and looked at the faces of those who were sitting down. He was a little bit confused because all the previous speakers, when they want to talk, they said, I stand on the existing protocol. But they were all sitting down. So when the mic was handed over to him, he said, well, I sat on the existing protocol, but I will not start from that point. Francis says it's my name. Regional Police Commander Freetown East. Just two issues from my end. One is the charge of a border involving two CSOs which are now in my custody. The one is Ibrahim Kamara and his colleague is Augustine Kotu. These two guys operate a clinic at Tombo named Friends of God Clinic. On the 23rd this month, they brought to them one Ali Bangura, aged 34 years. He was upset with Ania. When they negotiated with the family members, and the family members agreed to their terms of reference that they would pay them 3 million euros. A deposit of 2 million euros was made, and the man was ushered into their semi-claim theater. Along the line of operation, the operation did not go down well, and the victim was crying with pain and was bleeding profusely. The family members were called, and seeing the condition of their brother, they decided to relocate him to another hospital at Waterloo called Art Hospital. While the man there was doing the preliminary checking and doing formal things on the patient, that is Adi Bangura, he could not survive, he gave up the ghost. Well, report was made by Fudiatu Kabo, the younger sister to the now disease, and police were alerted, rushed at the clinic, and these two guys were arrested. Upon interrogation, they said they are trained CHOs, but we asked them, why are you calling yourself doctors? They said, well, since they are living at Tomu, and the community here is small, people call them doctors, so they answer to the name. But the reality is they are not doctors, they are CHOs. But they are presently in my custody helping with the investigation. On the 25th, there was a fire outbreak at Poti, which unlocked a 2-story building. Properties worth millions of euros were all burnt down, but the fortunate part, there was no loss of lives. I think these are the two issues from my end. If there are questions, I'm ready to answer. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. John Tumbe is the name, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Head of Peacekeeping. John Tumbe, T-U-M-B-A-Y.
Recording in progress.
From my side, I'm giving you just a general rundown of my department and what we are intending to do. I have personnel deployed in Somalia, South Sudan, Abyei, and Darfur. Sunday has been announced to be Peacekeepers Day, and Israeli police is asking on the 4th estate to join us in commemoration of Peacekeepers Day. We don't have an event actually announced for that day, but we are thinking of going to the press houses to talk to our people, brief them about our roles in peacekeeping and what successes we have gained so far. But for you that are here, I will just throw light on some of those successes we got so that you can have them down and maybe you disseminate them for us as well. We have personnel deployed in South Sudan, all female. This is the very first time Sierra Leone have sent out peacekeepers who are all female. This is geared towards empowering our counterparts, the female police officers. We have about 35 of them in South Sudan. And in Somalia, we have 39 IPOs, individual police officers, and then 160 formed police units. They are there and they've helped in providing security for the whole of the electioneering period in Somalia. And last week, they were able to elect their president. Sierra Leone played a key role in that process. And I would also want to inform you that the police commissioner for AU in Somalia is the Sierra Leonean, AIG Augustine Kailu. He is the police commissioner. We have one personnel in Darfur working with the new mission that took over from UNAMID. She is also a female, a chief superintendent. She is working there. And coming to Abie, UNISPA, we have 2 personnel there. They've been there for 1 year working in the mission. So far so good. We are having about 275 personnel in mission all across. We are expecting the number to go up because I've advertised for new recruitment. The process will start by next week, starting with driving and some academic work. Those who will go through it successfully will then be prepared for the final exams, which will be conducted by personnel coming from New York City. So far so good. This is what we have at hand. Thank you.
For IPOs, apply, and then the process will continue from that point. So I think it is good news for our police officers that want to go to missions. And do we have our CID update?
I want to subscribe to the report made by various speakers, most of the report, that security situation in the country remains calm and quiet. We always continue to use professional support at every given time. As well. Thank you.
Manifestation of what? The good work all of our colleagues are doing. Call them the military, the police, etc., etc. And I was telling you about the Guma Valley. The work there is going on very, very well, as I know they identified, and people that are within the green belt, that have built houses within the green belt, are being informed. Taking 1-day patrol in a month. All AIGs, all commissioners, all assistant commissioners, and some CSPs are given 1 day in a month to take care of Freetown, to be the leaders of Freetown. And I went around and found absolute peace in this town. Very, very interesting. When I got to Eastern Police at 2 o'clock, 2:30 or 3, the place was like 8 o'clock in the morning. Lots of people were around, cars were running, markets in place. I said, what is happening? This is becoming Lagos. But that is what Lagos looked like in the night. Newspapers, I did not see them selling, but it happens. But I saw cookery shops open, you know. And same thing with the beach. The beach is very lively. But besides, by and large, the city was very, very quiet. No incident. Checkpoints were arrived from people who were there doing their best. I think this brings us to the close of our press brief. And I will now hand over to Media One to coordinate the questions. Thank you very much.
Everything, even their bedding, saving stakes. As for the women, sanitary pads are provided for them for 1 year. So there is no cause for anyone to buy anything out there.
Or is it of the same quality?
The same quality. If I say I'm supplying you something from my end, it means it is going to be of the same color, same texture, and everything is given out there. For the individual police officers known as IPOs, we give them uniform, and because the terrain they are going, the place is very hot, and if you have only 2 or 3 pairs, it might run out before you even go to 6 months. So some of them go out to get some added uniforms. But if you are getting any uniform, you buy any uniform, if the blue is going to be the one we are using back home here. As you can see, all of us seated here, we are using the blue-black, but the textures are different. Mine is different from Brahma Camara's, but it's the same. You watch, you know this person is a Sierra Leone police. We go along with the flag, the national flag being attached to the uniform. The only thing UN provides out there is the beret, the UN crown, and the armband. That's the only thing the UN provide for you because you are going to carry the UN emblem. But for the uniform, boots, everything, it's the same we use out here. So there is no one buying uniform out to give anybody. There are those who are from the OSDs. So if you are here, you belong to the OSD uniform, maybe when you are going, you go with your OSD uniform. It is allowed. As long as that uniform is being used in your country, the IGP approves of it, you can wear it in the mission. But you cannot buy anything out and you put on whatever you deem fit for yourself. No. It's a disciplinary fault. Even when you are there, you are covered by our own watch out there. So you use what is prescribed by our country. Thank you.
I did not talk about pistol. I said weapon. It's a shotgun. And the fellow is a civilian. He is at CID headquarters. Thank you.
MSA, Mission Sustenance Allowance. Subsistence Allowance. Once you are there, you are given back. In certain areas, the UN provide accommodation for you in private houses. You are paid, you are given that allowance. Out of that allowance, you are able to rent an apartment. And then you can get, he's been taken to hospital, they inform us on daily basis. In the morning, I talk with all the contingent commanders in the various missions. They give me information as how they are faring out there. I also inform them about whatever changes or whatever important information I get it to them for the information of all of them. So they are cared for, their welfare is taken care of as the case might be. Thank you.